Oh, hey there. I'm Ayo Consaco, fearless leader of Ayo Nation and founder of the Me and Two movement. You may know me from such YouTube videos as the attempted murder of DJ Academics, YNW Melly's mama is a thought, or the top 3 rappers that would die in 2019. Oh no, I'm not predicting the future or presenting the news today. I actually want to ask you a couple of questions. Are you tired of working your fingers to the bone for pennies on the dollar, only to spend every cent of it on your fix? Do you get frustrated at the fact that you can't focus long enough to think of a plan to get you out of your current situation? And lastly, does your significant other not understand why you're so damn pissed off all the time? Well, the moment you've been waiting on is here.
The 3 S's. The 3 S's is a clinically proven, field-tested, non-addictive method which includes sobriety, solitude, and celibacy. When combined, these 3 actions form a whole new substance called success. Ah yes, success. Not just the words you learned how to spell in the 1st grade, an actual, tangible goal.
So to learn more about the 3 S's so you can start your new life and throw away your old one, click the link below and I'll see you on the other side. Let's get started. You okay?
Do you wanna ride? Let's see the ride and top of the stepping up and down BL, I love to the love to the BL, to the street ground, we still touching on my top bill, moving to the back so I can still be in this cold bill, free to the bone, the slow live, that shit with 3 more changes, 3 lines, get that shit, scratch and one of the action, let's restract, protection, I put the phone in the line, my phone, so we got one, I'm sticking it to the doctor, I'm not sure you're check, we got to the key, up with you and die. You wanna ride? 75, the ride my point is far to die. No, we out for hours. Like we running up on some no, never to deny, no deep. No, introduce myself. Hey, to the motherfucker, down to the new sauce. As you take one glass of as you take one glass of as you take one glass of self-serving. And that's some shit. Pull up on the street, double L, double X, AZ home, baby toes. And the automatic things we gotta be. And that's some shit. Pull up on the street, double L. Pull up on the street, and get some shit. Pull up on the street, double L, double X, AZ home, baby toes. And the automatic thing, cause he's a pimp, he gotta be a he's a pimp, he gotta be. All right, we in here, man. All right. All right. Okay, we got you, honey. I see you. All right.
Let's get to work.
Louis on the beat.
You can look me in my eyes and see I am what I am. It ain't like it used to be when I was gramming for gram. You can take me out the pound, but you can't take it out me. Had a load to move it to and made them wait about 3. Let me dress it and make it neat and you can wait up the street. You get the bag, I get the cash, I dap you up and we leave. I see niggas serving niggas, they done told me with 12. Either you lied to get the lick or you be telling this well. Keep your word with me, everything with us will go swell. Bite your tongue before you lie, cause all this shit can go left. Every time the dough swing, I'm pulling shit off the shelf. You ain't gotta check my shit, I guarantee it's all there. I done always had knowledge, so I been top dollar. She fucked me just wearing a shirt, wrap my hand in her collar. All the snake shit and fake shit I'm trying to avoid. When 12 behind me on the highway, shit be making me know it. I don't fuck around with crack, I don't fuck around with rats. Fuck around to get the max, niggas flashing police racks. Acting like it's off the sack, and them EDD racks. Lying like it's off the pack, I don't care how niggas get it, but why lie about the bag? When I tell it how it is, I seen her make some niggas mad. Really fuck a nigga feelings, I get at a nigga ass. I got 20 in the trunk as I ride past the task. If I can get to where I'm going, and I can say my mission paid. I double back with the same work, I just use a different bag. Buddy robbed a nigga twice, didn't even use a different mag. Niggas thinking we congruent, but we in 2 different class. It's only talk about the now, these niggas stuck off in the past.
Like it get a little meaner each time, don't it, huh? Real spit. Let the Eskimos speak. It goes sinister, sinister, minister with his third eye watching the show from the beginning. It's the end of an era, the dawn of an age of Aquarius, buried the truth to be saved. Did you ever think you would see so many slaves? Had that dollar sign on them to make them behave, Stevie. They need us to settle for minimum wage. Get on some pot calling the kettle black shit to stay paid. Damn it, I'm madder than average, mad at the masses. Crabs in the bucket, let's tip it and tuck it, bag it and tag it. The whole bucket, fuck it, they're killing each other. Keep mashing, then let's take the welfare of they bitches to show compassion. Make sure that all our power's on top and it's everlasting. Just pass that generation of wealth down and keep passing till we have no more resources left round. And then get absent, meaning cloudy days in the future. That's weather forecasting for that ass. If we don't get up off that ass and make some progress with that movement and investments with that stash. And if you ain't got you no stash, what you been doing with your work? And if you ain't got you no work, how you been measuring your worth, dude? Don't shoot the 50 with me, just tell me the truth. You scared of being on your own, as long as she take care of you, it's cake. And if I'm out of bounds, prove me wrong, get me straight, get up your weight. Real players might get in a bind a bend, but won't break. Power up and never stop. It's the hatter coming back at you, batter up in the box, swing. They ain't prepared to better pressure being real brings. Sitting on the sideline, niggas trying to run schemes. Never heard of hard work, I can only blame them. Cause bad apples have seeds too, don't throw away the stems. Garbage in, garbage out. Social media wins again, let's go to them Joneses' house. Go see what them Joneses bout. Do just what them Joneses doing and try to take them Joneses clout. You might even catch a record deal, cause they got talent scouts. They ran our culture straight in the dirt and brainwashed it. The yes we can movement ain't work, pain squashed it. That sounds kinda like an excuse, cause the painful truth is that we easily distracted and emotionally reactive. So they can use somebody claiming God and Jesus and come wipe us out. Somebody talking nice and know how to please us with the better route. I spit deep shit to make you peep shit. This drug user movement got y'all vibing to some weak shit. Auto-tune brought it to the bottom and now y'all underneath it. Real rap move like the ocean and y'all seasick. Some of y'all move the ball, but most of y'all defense. Black speak up and black down fall is the weakness. Whole world blind, curves real when it's easy. Said them planes brought them buildings down perfect and y'all believed it. Wait, why these niggas in dresses again? And how these bitches making money messaging men? Is the only way she can make some money showing some skin? Is everything that makes you money tied to some kind of sin? Hold up. And why the court system strictly for the ladies? And how the fuck she making money making babies? Just a couple questions from the real section. Look, we don't want no problems, we just deal checking. I'm the talk shit dean, foul mouth boss. So fuck you in advance if I piss you off. I don't hate whites and I'm not a misogynist. I'm just a call of bullshitologist. It's the Eskimo marathon flow. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. And every John Doe that took a stand for the black man. The last thing they want is us to expand the lifespan. Snakes adapt you up and backstab you with the same hand. So keep a close watch before they put a stop to your plan. I'm from the south where the cops and the clan could be the same man. Most of them folks who got caught in them traffic stops ain't stand a chance. Let's keep it a buck. I drop music to take a stance. Yeah, I'm dropping my nuts. Took a glance and I got a tell you that society's fucked. They tap dancing around the truth. In other words, they be dodging. They pausing in the youth. They think they hip, but they hopping it. Gucci made a blackface and niggas are rocking it. So if you pay for your disrespect off of who are you profiting? Is it your people, your government, or everyone else? You sounding like a sponge. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Don't try to blame someone else for your type of bullshit. My nigga quit. I step on everybody's toes, but that was some for nigga shit. But the program that scammed us into the nigga that and the nigga this. Gotta get a pack, gotta get rich, pull a trigger quick, never fall in love or trust a bitch. And it's convoluted, cause in the jungle that still makes sense. Gotta keep it moving with them bundles, situation tense. It's so consuming and they confusing the minds of great men. They keep us grooving and keep us snoozing time and time again. And these are tender times, they infusing gender lines. They'll say I commit crimes with anti-agenda rhymes. I'd rather let my light shine and y'all respect my mind than to be a hand-picked balloon for them porcupines trying to blow up. I won't get signed by some masterminds, and so what? Blind ain't how I'm designed. They want you streamline, worship in the shrine in that sunken place, trying to make it climb. Y'all too corrupt. All I got is my word and my nuts. Had a dream I talked to Easy, he said, boy, that's enough. And I always had the strength to talk to God, cause that's who you trust. It ain't about what you gon' do, it's about how you adjust. So go on and let them haters hate and leave their ass in the dust. It don't matter, you took a break, go ahead and shake off the rust. Go ahead and eat what's on your plate until you done had enough. And ever since I've been awake, I've been on what we discussed, so pay attention. Cause consequences ain't got shit on good prevention. And when it's real game popping, you should listen. Stay in your lane and no hopping and no switching and no flopping and no flipping and no slopping and no slipping. Peep out the new world and see how it plays. What a wonderful creation Mr. Sinister made. Go ahead and grab a Bible and shoot in the fade. But check your mirror, you in denial, that's how you get played. Cause he hungry, he put in work, he came to get it, he came to get you. He gon' take everything you bought and you brought with you. He come for everyone that you fought and who fought with you. By telling true lies through a screen with false pictures. Stay awake now, it's all hate now. Trying to play us like a Kit Kat, give me a break. Now they say that dollar fake is about to be a crypto quake. Wasn't no crypto drill, so ain't nobody ready for that shake. Totalitarian American jelly for your peanut butter. You up for brain surgical cuts. They manufacture guns as if he ain't murdered enough. It's the messianic versus volcanic vertical rush. Don't trust Mr.
Well. Plus one nigga never did nothing wrong. Never had to put my nigga locked so I still came with a thought that he never coming home. I don't know if you thirsty, but I mentioned I got you. I never knew why I got a man to a nigga. All I ever wanted was a piece of mine. Plus I got faith, though I feel like he ain't get to a nigga. Every other day I feel better sick, but I'm getting strong. Every time I see a smile, I wake up with the folks till I'm in my league. They can never understand my time. 0-8, mile, but I'm just the God, but them too wild, put it on the line. See the only person that they remind me of me, don't kiss they know I give a fuck in my mind. I remember back when Nicky got that time, my nigga still held me to maintain. To the rubber before my nigga lost his teeth, so I know it's only right for me to go into the scene. I got you, I ain't finna live to you, my nigga just know that you gotta stay strong. To get up to a shit, I go. I'm the only one get to it, make it to a zone. So I flip up, then I go into a phone with an attitude, nigga better leave me alone. Ain't too many other ways a nigga understand this man for the hospital and it's gone.
All right, so here it is. If y'all don't know who that was Eskimo Shawty. Before that, that was Barry Rich Screw Up. I'm gonna go ahead and reach out and say the hardest nigga out of Arkansas. But after that, we had Eskimo Shawty, Alabama's own. If you've not seen this episode, I hate when they do that shit, dog. If you've not seen this episode of Conversation with Me, that was a very important exchange right there. That was an extremely important exchange between me and Young. Very important exchange. All right, let's get to work here. So tonight, what I wanted to do is just make sure that we acknowledge what happened. Shout out to that nigga, D Rose from Supremely Black Podcast. Dog, you know, I had to call D Rose. I called D Rose the other night, and I had to ask him the reason why I don't step up as no black leader. The reason I don't step up as no black leader is because I don't think I'm like smart enough, you know, or knowledgeable enough in, you know what I'm saying, black history to play that position. So I refer to people like D Rose from the Supremely Black Podcast, Tony Delarmy from TD Hip Hop Media, just niggas who are smart, young grump, extremely knowledgeable black men. And I asked D Rose about Fred Hampton because I just happened to see something. I just happened to see something about Fred Hampton. And what I saw was Fred Hampton he was in Chicago. For some reason, I just felt like, you know, those type of people were in New York. He was actually, not only was he in Chicago, but they had a like tribunal where it was him, the Black Panthers, and he might have been part of the Black Panthers, I don't know, but him, the Black Panthers, and the fucking Black Peace Stones. So I had to call D Rose and ask, when did Fred Hampton get killed? He was 21, which is crazy, but he was, what year was it? Was important to me because it happened real fast. He got on the scene, he 21, and then they kill him immediately. So when they had that meeting, that was around the time he got killed. I was wondering how you had, at that point, it was a street gang, which I put out a post today asking, name a similarity between the military and a street gang. I'm gonna do another one asking the similarities between the police and a street gang. But to see that a street gang was in there with black progressives, that gives, I knew something was wrong. I'm like, man, there's something wrong here. But to have a black street gang be in a room with black progressives, that shows right there that we lost our way. So I asked, how did we get from a street gang being at the forefront of Black Revolution to Chirac. And that it was important that was in Chicago. How did we get from that's what street gangs do to now Chirac? The opposition will never be a different race from you. I think that's extremely important, and we're gonna delve into that. But shout out to Mello Jones. If you've not went and got your copy of Third Second Chance, you missing the fuck out. Go to Amazon and make sure you fuck with him. But we were deliberating. We're like in the very productive stage of the Rap Trap book. And I was thinking, that's why I was doing the research as far as Fred Hampton, and I felt like that a street gang was actually for Black positivity. And now we have what we have. But what happened in that? What happened to us? What happened to us that we went the whole other direction? But tonight, what we're talking about, and that's just something to think about, and we'll be talking about that. But tonight, what we're talking about is, obviously everybody knows we had another school shooting out there in Michigan. The first question, like I said, tonight is just the live where I want to let everybody, make sure everybody on the same page. Tomorrow night is when we'll have this actual live. I just want to get some thoughts from people tonight. My question tonight is, as a parent, I want to talk to parents tonight. As a parent, seeing this go on once again, we're going to get into the race part in a minute and all that. But first, I want to speak to the parents. As a parent, seeing this school situation being more random and more frequent, are you having second thoughts on allowing your children to go to public schools? Big Facts Podcast, who we got on the line?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh man, we got Gavin in the building. Gavin, I you know, like I said, we seeing a lot of different things nowadays. What precautions are you taking with your children in public schools?
Ain't really you can do, man. You can't identify the culprit like that, man. Or they ain't trying to anyway.
I don't know about and then we go right there off the bat. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Now we can stereotype somebody with a bandana or that sagging their pants or got gold teeth, but why can't
I say that part.
Yeah, and so why can't we start stereotyping? Dog, if we look through these shooters, what do they all have in common? You know what I'm saying? We see what they got in common, and I'm asking the question: who is the real threat? Who's the real threat? D. Rose. Go ahead.
Them type of sex right there, it definitely ain't black.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't want to get too far off track. How do you feel about public schools at this point? Do you feel like it's a reason to take the children out of school? What precautions do you feel is necessary?
They can stop that shit if they wanted to, man. They, it's like certain places like for Chicago.
Yeah. I
guarantee you, in them low poverty areas where them schools at, they got metal detectors, all that free. But if I'm guessing it's a so-called safe area, they don't feel like they need to do it. But if they can put them where the majority are black. So what's different?
That's right. That's real shit, though. That is real shit. That is real shit.
What was the one about what it was about 6 years ago? Same scenario. Little white kid went in there and smoked every
Hold on. What you talk? Parkland? You talking Parkland?
Oh, shoot, man. What was that school, man?
What?
It was a big dude killed 10 people, I think.
Hey, when I was doing the research, I did see one where that might have been Nick.
At least I'm gonna think within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
No metal detectors. I mean, it's cool in these places, but that's where it's happening at too.
And but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, you know, they tried to say. Let me ask you this though, as a parent, this incident and the other incidents that we've seen at these schools, does it make you feel like the Second Amendment should be looked at a different type of way? Does this make you feel like maybe the people who are saying that we need strict gun control, does it make you feel like they're right?
Oh, yeah, and no. Exactly.
That's because I feel like if they make a law about stricter gun laws, all that's going to do is disarm the good people.
No.
What'd you say?
Well, what you mean, good people?
I mean, the only people who will stop getting guns is people who obey the law. Obviously, these people who are doing these type of things, well, that's not true either.
Hey, I'm pretty sure the reason he got that because he's supposed to obey the law.
Yeah, you damn right. You damn sure right.
That's just gonna separate the men from the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't no fun when you can't get that 5 pounds of pressure off. You gotta do it the old-fashioned way. A lot of people fear that.
Yep. And when they get locked up, they don't know what to do after that. Tell me this right here. How do you feel about him being charged as an adult off the rip?
Man, they just don't throw that man under the jail, man.
There it is.
It is what it is.
Let's speak on this. I'm saying, let's speak on this.
Don't say him out.
I'm saying so, and we just gonna be fair. Whenever we have a teenager, one of our teenagers, whenever they do a crime, we gotta be honest. We say that they should not be charged as an adult.
It depends on how egregious the crime is.
That's correct. That's real talk.
If you caught with a couple grams of weed and you 15, okay, that might do a slap on the wrist right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if you go to the damn school and shoot folks, man, you is man, it shouldn't be we need to think about this.
Real talk. And like you said earlier, it was premeditated. Now this is what really, take this thing to another level. As really this morning was when I was hollering at you. That's when I first heard about, the specifics in the case. But for him to, have plans on doing this beforehand, I think that it shouldn't be a question on whether or not the death sentence should be put into place. This was premeditated.
But this kicker, they got a video of Buddy getting a gun stretched, whatever the name of the school, see you tomorrow.
What?
He and the camera with the gun stretched. Whatever the name of the school is, see you tomorrow.
And there it is. Mute the TV in the background. And see, there it is. And there it is. It's these type of acts. And like he said at the beginning, why can't we get metal detectors in every school. But I think I really feel like it's even deeper than that, because if they feel like the only reason they do these things is because they're soft targets. They go for soft targets. So wherever there is the path of the least resistance, that's where they'll go. So if they can't get into the school with it, they'll go to a Walmart.
A church.
There it is. There it is. Like, and this is what I'm saying. The difference is So when it's us on the street, they have stop and frisk. They make laws that target the suspect. But when it's them, they make laws that target the victims. So it's like, instead of us saying we're gonna run down on these motherfuckers and stereotype and profile these motherfuckers, we're gonna say, no, let's go ahead and make sure we got metal detectors everywhere. Hell no. Let's do it.
I read an article too, though. Like, they say dude got a little diary, he writes shit in.
Uh-huh.
So we talked about earlier, the first thing they say, they suspect bullying.
There it is. And there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. And you know what? I think tomorrow when we speak on this, that's going to be a big part of the show. Somebody explain to me what bullying is. Because when we was coming up through school, that's just the way school was. That's how you learned what was going on. You learned a lot about just seeing how people interact with other kids.
So, in every phase of life,
say it again.
In every phase of life, that will happen.
Exactly. Dog, but these kids nowadays, they really on some shit. Like, if dog, I had a high school graduate, a girl that was a high school graduate. She went and got a job at one of these, Office Depot places. And I think they said if she missed a day of work, so that she didn't have to go in the next day and be reprimanded for missing a day, she just quit the job. These kids nowadays are really and truly on some shit like, whatever is I'm just going to avoid awkward situations altogether. And the world is making it so that they can actually do that. In our day, it wasn't no question on whether or not you was going to go to school. You sick, none of that shit mattered. You was going to school and you was going to do all the stuff that kids did. It wasn't no falling behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand I understand what bullying means, but we've always had that. And as long as you are a victim, it will happen. But as soon as, you know what I'm saying, you make that known, there's a lot of different ways that a kid can tell the teacher that they're being bullied. And right then and there, you'll damn near get expelled from a school if you bully a kid. And that's why they make skits and everything about when the quiet kid in the class reaches in their book bag and all. They make jokes about that shit. Because exactly, they make jokes about it. So I'm not really buying this whole bullying shit. As soon as it happens, the first thing that everybody's, even with the fucking Simsky case, it's always bullying. Anybody who has children knows that a child will come back to you and give you a report that makes them look like a victim. That's what children do. When they come tell you the story, they telling you what happened to them. They're not telling you what they did. So when we go into, these places and the first thing somebody say is bullying, a kid can consider himself bullied because the kids don't pick him on the basketball team, because the kids didn't want him in their group. Everybody in the world does not have to like you. And because they don't like you, that doesn't mean they're bullying you. This shit is crazy as fuck. It goes right back to the same thing of if you say something about Lil Nas X, immediately, you know what I'm saying, they going straight to that. What the fuck if I don't like that, my nigga? So you gonna make me watch the different side of Pornhub? Because I don't like to watch the different side of Pornhub. I'm a bully. What in the fuck is going on? So if I shop at Walmart instead of goddamn Rouse's, I'm bullying Rouse's? Come on, my nigga. What? Real talk. Because, so you're saying that because the girl, this shit is crazy. Because you asked the girl for her number and she didn't give it to you. Because you asked that girl to the prom and she said no. You being bullied, and that's a justifiable excuse of you going home. I don't take that bullying shit from nobody. When they were saying that shit about the Simpsky nigga, I wasn't with that shit. Bullying, not the way that nigga got gold teeth and everything, and plus the fact, what in the fuck is bullying? In our day, bullying was them turning you upside down, putting your head in the toilet, throwing you in the trash can and shit like that. These days, they will consider it bullying if you don't accept their friend request on a goddamn social media app. If they make a video and it doesn't get as many views as Jake Paul or some shit like that. Dog, that shit is crazy, dog. It's crazy what they will consider bullying. Every time one of these things happen, the news and everybody screams to bullying. What is bullying in 2021? And is bullying a justifiable excuse to take action in these ways? If it's not, then why are we even talking about bullying? What did they say what he did, what happened to him? What he said was bullying?
No.
See that?
They're speculating that.
See?
They got hold of a dude's diary. They say he had a little diary. I guess they went through it briefly. And that's when the first speculation came up after they looked through it.
Come on, man. Dog, if I would have wrote down everything that happened.
He just put some shit together and made it like you can misdirect that situation evil. If that's what he really owns.
He said what now?
I say you can misdirect that situation if that's what he really owns, as far as him wanting to and knowing he was gonna go there and do that. He could easily put that in that book.
Yep.
Or the diary.
Exactly. There it is. Yep. That's exactly. He could if he had enough sense to be on the camera the day before saying see you tomorrow, was to say that he couldn't have wrote that shit in advance and say they gonna look at this and this is gonna be my reason. At the very bottom of every situation that you look at in these type of circumstances, what we have is what I've been saying from the beginning. Some people are born with it on their mind to want to hurt something. I'm about to show y'all a video right here. Where's it at? Where's the video at? Damn. I'm about to show y'all a video of some army guys. These are some army guys, some military guys. And I want you, come on, man. I want y'all to look at this.
Come on, man. Come on, man. What are you doing, man?
Yeah. You all brought him. You guys heard the news? Yeah, me and him. Yeah, we brought him out here.
Bro, that was my favorite rapper. We were supposed to do a song, bro.
Just tell him you love her. I love you, young dog. Rest in peace.
I love your dog, bro.
Tell him rest in peace.
Rest in peace, your dog. Oh, I love you, bro.
They just took a real nigga from the community.
Tell me this, honestly and truly, do you feel like, tell me this, as a parent, when this happened on Tuesday, did they lock down the school that your children go to?
Hell no.
That's crazy. I think that's kind of crazy. Because you know these kids are into all type of different kind of groups and stuff like that. I don't think it's far-fetched for all of them to get together and want to do it on the same day. Have you ever heard of the
for the mass lockdown just in case.
Yeah, and I'm saying I think that, have you ever heard of the dark web?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on the dark web they be having like things on there to where you can't track what they doing on there. It's like you gotta have some router or some shit to where it lets you get on there and hide who you are. I think it's a possibility that they can have a group on there, like on Reddit. So you listen to Doja Cat. Doja Cat was she was in a group to where they called black people didn't do nothings. That was a name for them. I think that there's a way for all of these kids who feel this way, for them to collaborate and all, you know.
If they can do that on social media, Snapchat just cold.
You're right. That's right. I feel like because I saw some stuff on it was a compilation of weirdest things on the dark web, and there's something on there where people who want to commit suicide, they can go on there and they were all in one spot, and it was a nurse like in Texas somewhere that would go on there and prey on the suicidal people and get them to enter a suicide pact to where they both said that they were going to commit suicide on the same day. And the person, I'm like, what the fuck was a suicide pact? And the person would like get them over the edge and tell them the easiest way to do it so it won't be no pain or nothing like that. And then get them to turn their web camera on and record themselves hanging themselves or whatever like that. I feel like there's enough dark spaces on the internet for them to collaborate. I'm saying this because I feel like if this was another race, if it was another race other than the race that we're seeing that always does this, they would call this terrorism. If this was another race, imagine that the race, the 100% race of school hitters, if they were another race, they would be calling this terrorism, and they would call this the latest act of terrorism. That's what they would just think. If it was all Mexicans, if it was all Afghani, Indian, damn near even black, Nigerian, they would be calling this a organized operation that is trying to make our schools unsafe. But the fact that it's this race, whenever something like this happens, they don't shut down those schools. They ain't making no moves on nothing. But whenever terrorism happens on our soil, the whole country goes into lockdown mode. But this has become, even though we're having the most precious of our society is being terrorized and hunted, nothing happens. And this is why they blow it up whenever two niggas get in a fight at the school and one of them pull a gun out and shoot. That's some street shit. That's street shit brought to the school. The shit that these motherfuckers is doing, you go and compare what that nigga did down there in Texas to these motherfuckers. When these motherfuckers come in them damn schools, no motherfuckers is leaving out of there the hard way. It's not going to be no, he got hit this many times, but he survived. They are extremely effective at killing. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that if we continue to look at this situation time after time after time after time, when there's casualties at a school, it is one race. And it's been that way since before Columbine. Yet, there's been no action taken.
Any awkward place.
Huh?
It can't be that any awkward place down there.
What do you mean?
When it's multiple killings.
Yep, that's right.
Like,
that's right.
Where it's just the weirdest thing in that area, like school or church, like it's not us.
Hold on. Who is slavery the choice?
What they say?
I think it's somebody. Hold up, my neighbor a few houses down was shot in the head by his 6-year-old. I don't remember making slavery the choice is a moderator. Now you said what now?
Anywhere that like what happened in their school, as kids, like it damn near 95% of the time, not it's that race.
Yep.
Like that. Damn near every time.
Every time. It's the same thing. And like I said, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. Every time we have a situation where an unarmed black man is murdered, and it's always an accident, but we've all seen these videos where there will be a Caucasian getting pulled over, and he will give them every reason to use lethal force, and they won't. And I just do not understand, how are we still the most feared people on the planet? It does not matter if we have tattoos in our face, wear bandanas, and sag our pants. You've never seen someone that looks like that cause this much fucking pain and panic and terror. A 15-year-old non-athletic kid caused more death than any of our biggest gangsters, any of our hardest rappers.
But you know, like even with the one with the dude that killed, that just got out, right? Even not the reality of it, he killed 2 whites, and I'm pretty sure this dude in Michigan killed some white kids. I'm pretty sure them folks didn't respect, you know, like you saying, that was fear. That you just painted those teeth rag all that.
Yes.
Now they seeing this in that lens that you're talking about. And they traumatized. But it's too late for that, because this it goes unnoticed.
You right. You down. You
when they go to happening.
Yep.
To you, somebody you can touch or you got fitness for. Now you get smart.
Yep.
No, it's too late.
That's right. That's exactly right. So he's saying that you don't want to see little Timmy or little what's his name? You don't want to see them as a threat until something happens to your child. And it's just like I said, it's like who I don't see how we have so many Karens and they look at us so crazy when we come through their neighborhood and all that. You know, even back to the Ahmaud Arbery case, even though he didn't have no business in that house and all that stuff like that, when it comes down to it, those same races that walked Ahmaud Arbery down, those same races that they were saying that they were protecting their neighborhood from threats. This boy right here with this prayer face, where's that picture at with him having his prayers? These pictures right here on your screen that you see, these pictures that you see in front of you right now, These are the faces of death and destruction. But it does not compute to you, because when you see these motherfuckers, you cannot imagine them being the fucking problem. What you want to see as the problem is motherfuckers who look like Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin. He had his hoodie up, and you would never, it don't matter what these motherfuckers right here is wearing, you don't give a fuck. They do not look like they can do any harm. You will never take these motherfuckers as a threat. Never. But these are the faces of the most, they've caused the most pain and anguish, because they will actually go into a place and murder for no other reason than there is something inside of them that needs to be unleashed. Have you ever, if you look at these, and I've told y'all this about these, you go look at these interrogations of these type of shooters. These motherfuckers don't even know why they did it. It's not about no damn bullying. It's because it's something inside of them. The Yellowstone killer, is that what it's Yellowstone? The Yellowstone serial killer said he started having thoughts and fantasies as early as 7 years old to just wanting to kill, and not just wanting to kill anybody. He wanted to kill a woman from a very, very young age. I just had a very, very deep conversation with my second oldest child's mother. And she was talking about the household, you know, looking at the household and how the children are raised up. But she said something very important. She said, if you live with your child, if you're an involved parent, then you know when something is, when something is wrong with them. You can tell, you know, what they on. Let me ask you this, Gavin. Do you feel like these parents kind of have a feeling that their child could be a school shooter, or do you feel like it takes them by surprise like it does everybody else?
Most definitely they know. Not to the extent of like that they will actually do it, but like you say, it's signs, definitely signs, and even it coming directly from what you put in them. So it ain't no excuse. If you don't know, you ain't no parent.
That is real shit, because you see in some households, and like I said, it's not important specifically on each household, but in some households that will not allow certain artists' music to play. And that's what I call active and proactive parenting. When you are the person who lets the children know, oh, no. If you are listening to this shit, you're wrong. And you know you're wrong because I won't allow you to do it. You're not going to come up to me showing me letting me listen to new song that Saucy Santana or Lil Nas. You're not going to come up to me listening to their songs. I'm the parent. I need to be over, and I need to be watching everything that you're consuming. You know, when the children are extremely young, you have to watch that child to make sure they don't pick up, you know, Legos and swallow them, to make sure they don't put their hand by the, you know, the wall sockets. You have to take preemptive action to make sure that they don't consume anything that can harm them. I feel like that does not stop when that child is able to walk and talk. You still have to watch what they consume, but you know that consuming is not just about what you're ingesting. You can consume by what you listen to. If you grow up in a house where you never saw your parents, you know, physically hit each other, but you know they were in the room and you heard it and all that, whatever, that can change you. If you come up in a place where your mama, you know what I'm saying, she's a prostitute, and you have to see different men come in and out the house. That can affect them. And you have to know that these kids, that from the time they come out the womb and they're able to understand, they are on a video game that is extremely violent, and it's backed up by always seeing all of these travesties, all of these horrible events, one after another, to where their mind is so small. This is why I feel like putting children into this entertainment business, I feel like it's child abuse. I feel like it's child abuse, because in order to really do this, you have to, it takes a lot mentally. So when you put a child into this place, this is why later on in life, you see a lot of these child stars go crazy and shit, because it's hard getting used to having to do certain stuff when the camera is on you. So that can mess a child up. But deeper than that, with every regular parent, children are curious. Let me ask you this right here. Knowing that children are curious, do you feel like you need to tell them before they get on the internet, hey, I don't want you watching this because of this? Or do you wait for them to stumble upon it themselves and then you scold them and tell them not to watch it? Which one do you feel like should be done?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. They can find it themselves. But like you said earlier, if my 2-year-old walk around singing a song, he don't know how to go to the party, man, we cut that out.
Woo!
So if you're smart enough to learn the words to the Derrick Jones song, and you can't go to the party, it's something going wrong.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
Stop that singing. Let's go do this.
Yep. And
like that with the internet thing, if they stumble on it, and I pay attention, and I don't do it over obsessive, but I get the phone, I go do it.
Yeah.
And once I see what I need to see, we getting right to that.
Yes. That I'm talking about. That is, a lot of they're saying. And this is why I feel like some of these publications, some of these media outlets, I believe that they're ran by the enemy, because they'll try to make a parent feel bad for randomly checking their children's phone by saying that the child needs,
You can't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the child needs privacy. What the fuck are you talking about?
No problem.
What?
But close my door in my mama.
Real talk. We ain't never had no closed doors at the house. What the hell? But they'll try to make you feel like that. Like, if you are, always on top of checking your child's phone, they'll never come to you and tell you when they're in trouble, because they're scared that you're not giving them no privacy. You suffocating them. If you don't let them see it, then they're going to run towards it, because whatever you tell the child not to do, that's what they're going to do. I don't believe that, dog.
To a degree.
Exactly, to a degree. And I feel like it's a time for everything. But when we talking about something as important as your child's mental health, dog, when I started looking into conspiracy theories, I was, over 25, probably 26 years old. And that shit scared the fuck out of me to see all of the evil things that America did. You need to be of a certain mental maturity before you start going on this internet and just searching shit, because you might go down a rabbit hole that can.
Right now, man.
Say it again.
That's just the day and age right now. You can't avoid, especially it's accessible, dude. Like kids can slip up weird shit.
Yep.
And don't even try to see it, right?
Yep.
Because they YouTube on autoplay. That shit just gonna take them to the next store.
You right.
And now it's on some shit that You have no idea about.
No idea about. Dog, my man, like I said, it's crazy, dog. It's just a whole bunch, man. It's a whole bunch. And like I said, we're gonna speak deep on it tomorrow, and see what's going on. But handle business. I'm gonna touch you in a minute.
What's good, brother?
We got it. All right, shout out to that boy, House of Wolfman. House of Wolfman said, here in Michigan, most districts closed to threats. So are the schools locked down in Michigan? We're going to have to see about that one. Shout out to House of Wolfman showing love. If you don't got the cash app or the PayPal, it's always in the chat. House of Wolfman came back through showing love, no words. I appreciate that. That nigga House of Wolfman, I don't know who the hell that is, but that nigga show heavy love. That's love at home. Shout out to JP. JP come through, said it's work time. Salute the tax cooperation. You know what the fuck we doing, JP. Shout out to JP, man. He's another one that makes sure he supports everything that we doing. Shout out to him. Shout out to that boy Showboat. Showboat came through and said, for the Men Too movement, if you don't know, you need to get acquainted. This has taken us off schedule a little bit, but we will be having our mock interview coming up in the following week, where we're gonna have a simulation of the protest, and I'm gonna allow certain members of AO Nation. Obviously, you have to be on a Patreon to get picked to be a interviewer. And we're going to do an interview as if I'm out there protesting, and, you know, people coming up, like reporters of the news, come up and ask me questions. So we're definitely going to have that in the upcoming week. Make sure that you are on the Patreon so you can have all the latest on that right there. Big Facts Podcast, who we got online?
Yo, you already know who it is, man.
Oh, man. Tay Too Lit on the line. Tay, tell me how you saw this situation, B.O.
I'm going to be honest with you, yo, man. I'm very, very scared for the kids of the generation, man. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like, I don't have kids at the moment. Really starting to think I'm going to have to homeschool my kids. First and foremost, because I want to really control what they're learning. Because I'm starting to see that even after I graduated school, that a lot of shit they in school, we don't even fucking use when we grow up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want my kids to have a direct, like knowledge.
You want them to have a direct education, meaning you don't want them to have to learn all the fluff and the bullshit. You want them to learn what they need to learn to survive in real life.
Exactly.
I feel you.
Yeah. I want to understand about credit. I want to understand about LLC, et cetera, things of that nature, how to keep proper exercise, shit like that matters, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Another thing, too, man, it's just like, the reason why I went to homeschooling, too, man, because like I said, it's starting to get unsafe, man. I don't want to have to worry about my kids getting shot at school. I mean, like, shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like that old joke with Chris Rock. He said that, when he's going to get to the point where white kids won't want to come to black schools because they know that if a black kid don't like school, he just won't go. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk. That shit is so, that's so real. And that's another thing. Tomorrow, our big points is going to be bullying and racial profiling. Those are the two things that we really need to talk about, because if you right now go on Google and look up school shooters,
they all white.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you though, it seems like what they do is the two biggest pictures on that damn chart are niggas. It's like, dog, you putting up a black person when the title or when the situation is, the category we're looking up is, fastest man on earth. You putting a white person up there is so fucking disingenuous. Like, maybe there is fast, but when we're looking up fastest man, you need to show us what that looks like. And if you're talking about athlete, what that looks like is a black man, a black woman. When we're talking about sports, we're at the top. But instead, you put up, you know, the Flash and fictional characters and shit like that. But when I look up school shooter, dog, I should not see no black people up there, dog. Stop trying to make it seem like everybody, you know, everybody. No, the fuck they don't. Niggas do not move like that. And once again, this 15, you look at each one of these kids on the screen. Look at each one of them. There is nobody that will be around and see them and be like, my life is in danger. And that is a problem for me, man. It's a problem because I've had, and like I said, this is another thing I need to tell y'all. When you see somebody say something sideways, something that could be taken in a negative way on our shit, go directly to their profile. I guarantee you, you will not be able to find a real picture of them. This is a very dangerous thing because every time we have somebody, be very weary of that. Be very weary of the person who will make an argument or just tries to.
I want to add on to stuff about bullying, man. Like,
hold on. Now, this make sure that when you see them, when you see something that like that shit kind of off, why the fuck is that motherfucker coming with that weird energy? It's for a reason. They want to dissipate energy wherever they see that there is somebody actually making progress on black progress, dog. They're gonna come and try to discourage and throw off the energy. I had a guy today. I said that Moray, the dude who made Quicksand, is just like Moray. Moray is this generation. It is the current version of Charlie Boy, the nigga who made On My Mama, On My Hood, I Look Fly, I Look Good. And it was a nigga who is all in my goddamn DM with all this, oh, look at this nav, oh, the rap trap is real. He don't got nothing but, you know, positive shit to say, borderline male groupie shit in my inbox. You go look at the goddamn comment after I said Moray is this generation's Charlie Boy. He says, he puts the thinking emoji up there and say, one song was about struggle, one song was about looking fly. That's the type of slick internet nigga shit that makes it to where, nah, my nigga, I'm good. When I go to my protest, I'm going alone because it will be, we just had a situation like this damn near last week where a nigga went into a female AO Nation member's inbox and was acting like he didn't know who I was, saying I was fucking up, you know, what she had going on. I go look that nigga up on Instagram and I be motherfucker, if this is not another nigga who I did not follow back and I didn't respond to his goddamn messages. And so now he's pretending like he don't know who the fuck I am, telling me I'm fucking up some shit that another person has going on. These niggas, and when you catch these niggas in these situations, like the nigga who said one song was about struggle, one song was about looking fly. When I confront the nigga, I misread it. I can see you were talking about the artist now. These niggas are simply there to get up under you and then try to dissipate. So they find out what they can find out and they're trying to dissipate the energy. When they do shit like that, they're hoping that someone else will come up under that and say, yeah, man, you're right. This is why I tell niggas, don't get swept up into the current when you see somebody saying some weird shit. If you are not a internet nigga and you fuck with the movement, it's a reaction that you're supposed to have towards that shit. if you see something that you feel may be a little bit off, a word is misspelled, the live gets rescheduled, wherever the fuck it is, if it can be taken negative, you do not say it publicly. And real niggas know this, but it's the internet niggas that cannot get it through their mind that what did I do wrong? It's not that big of a deal. And so there is no talking to them. And if any of y'all wonder why, when I come in the inbox or, you know, how I handle certain situations, if you wonder why it's that way, it's because these internet niggas, like I've never seen not one, like after I go look at the nigga, I've never seen not one real nigga do no internet nigga shit. So it's extremely easy to tell who's who. Be very, very careful. If you do not know that you're not supposed to say questionable shit to a person that you say that you rock with, then you expose yourself. So this is the shit I'm talking about, and these are the things that we have to watch out for, because most of the time when we're getting fucked up and our movements lose their energy and lose their support, it's because somebody, same thing with Fred Hampton, it's because somebody that has infiltrated by saying, oh, I believe in this and all this right here, they'll get right up under and then say some whole shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's important towards this right here, because when we're trying to point out these extremely important facts, there are some people that will, like I had a nigga say something about a bandana. When I had the young man on that just got his CDL, he's asking about the bandana, and he's saying, so, I'm confused. Are we supposed to do what you say or do what you do? That statement right there is a statement of one of these kids' parents. One of these kids' parents would say that, how are you positive, but you have on a bandana? How is that possible? How can you be positive and have a bandana? But I implore you to look at these motherfuckers. And I want you to hold on, Tate. I want y'all to tell me about the nigga with a bandana or tattoos in his face. Tell me one of them that has committed the atrocities that one of these kids, one of them.
That's 100% fact.
Give me one nigga with a bandana that has done this type of damage. The reason why I have to point this out is because when you say those things to me, the only way I can look at you is like you must be a fed, because how in the fuck, what do you mean do what I do? What I do is come on here, present positivity. You haven't heard about me going out in the street and none of that. Is everything you've seen with me has been positive and productive. What I've spoken is positive and productive. But you can't get past a bandana. But these will be the same people who will say, oh man, Nipsey hustling, and it's like Snoop Dogg. What in the fuck? And it angers me, because it's like that is counterproductive. If you cannot see a man for his actions, if you can't see a man for his deeds, all you can see is the exterior. My nigga, I don't want you around here. I don't want you around here. The whole point of what we're doing is to show that you can be everything that they say is a sign of horrible shit. The niggas that you look at and admire because of their record and the shit that they did and the way that they carry themselves, these are the niggas that's telling you, don't do that. I'm the nigga who said the crime fast. I'm the nigga who brought the rap trap, the Men Too movement, the golf course theory. And a nigga told me on a video I was doing with a young man who just, a whole show for a young man who just got his goddamn CDL. You saw a bandana and said, I'm confused. Are we supposed to do what you do or do what you say? That is a comment of a fed, because there will be no real nigga that says, yeah, you Nipsey Hussle, all that good shit he did, but yeah, all of that shit down the drain. But are you serious? Are you fucking serious? That's white folk shit. That's Anglo shit. Judging a motherfucker not by his actions, but right up. That's all I need to see. And so I'm saying this because I need for you to understand, when you see these people go, it's a blessing because you're able to right then test the theory. I guarantee you those people will never, ever show their face. And I propose that the reason that they won't do that is because they would expose the bigger operation. And the operation is any black man that is actually getting through in a positive way to the youth, we need to destroy them. This whole I'm a black man with a Bible and all this right here, that shit scares away the youth. What we've been able to see is that niggas who actually come from that have a far better chance of changing the youth's mind than a motherfucker that come with a suit and nigga don't want to hear that. They'll cut it off before they even see what's going on. So I'm telling you this because I don't want you to be confused. As I said, you don't have to be no gang banger, no gangster, no thug to be part of AO Nation. But if you are not real enough to say that, okay, I know that I'm all in this nigga inbox, I'm always, saying that I'm a part of AO Nation and this and that, dog, once you say that, that means something. AO Nation is not no motherfucking internet program shit. I'm a real fucking person. So if what you're used to doing is, if that's how you handle people that you fuck with, you make weird comments that publicly that could be taken as negative, and then no, it's not that big of a deal. My nigga, please fucking unsubscribe for me. Please get the fuck off my Patreon. Please get the fuck from around. I'm not with that shit. I don't do that. That's not what the fuck we do over here. You will never, ever hear me say anything about Katrina or Tay or fucking Grump or anybody. I don't give a fuck if they say 2 + 2 is 7. Yep, you damn sure right. That's the worst. The worst that I would do is not say anything. But I will never publicly say anything that could be taken negative because I truly fuck with them. What I would do is say, hey man, what did you mean by 2 + 2 is 7? And I hate that I have to teach this lesson, but I realize that maybe it is some of you niggas who are not from that don't know that you saying questionable shit publicly is a no-no. And I have to do this like once a year, every year, because it'll be a nigga who's, I'm talking about actively in my fucking inbox that will truly come to a post publicly and say some passive aggressive shit, hoping that someone else comes up under there and say, yeah, I was wondering about that too. And they can do their whole little, passive aggressive internet shit. And then when I say, hey, what you mean by that? Oh no, man, no, I was just saying that I didn't know what time. I was just saying, I didn't. That's the shit I don't like, my nigga. If you don't like what we doing or you don't like what you see, my nigga, why the fuck are you around here? Why, what the fuck? I don't give a fuck how much you've donated. I don't give a fuck how long you've been on the Patreon. If you are a internet nigga, I don't want you around. Dog, what we're about to do in Florida is real fucking shit. I've had to start fucking doing these fucking exercises and having to, you know, learn how to, you know what I'm saying, different shit so that when we go down at a protest, it can be effective. I'm actually getting prepared for a fucking protest, prepared to go down here and be arrested, all these things. This is active shit. I'm not with this internet play shit. If you like to play on the internet and shit like that, my nigga, go fucking do that. But over here, we're actually trying to do some shit. So I feel like it's extremely important. If you are just here because you want to, you know, you think it's fun and it's entertaining to listen to Ayo talk, all good, my nigga. Just like I said, just watch from afar and keep that Ayo Nation shit out of your fucking mouth. That shit means something. It means something. So let's just get that out in the open because, and I want, like I said, if you are a nation member, when you see these things, you need to be cognizant of what's going on. Always ask the person that's making a questionable comment, always ask them, what's your social media? Or you immediately go to their social media, and when you see they don't have any posts or their shit is on private, you need to assume that that is a fed. That is somebody that has been sent on some Fred Hampton shit to destroy what we have going on. I've had to keep a lot of things behind closed doors as possible attacks, possible plans, and all that because of all of this. And it's increased since it's been made understood that we are going to Florida. It's not a game. It's not a joke. We're going to Florida. I've witnessed a lot more active. I don't look at it as trolling. A motherfucker coming over here trying to fuck up the energy. I'm looking at you as an agent. What I've seen in my observation is a lot of times when these type of situations happen, when they try to take somebody down, the motherfuckers did not see it coming. I'm seeing it coming, and I'm telling you, when you see these things, you need to assume that they are part of the enemy, and you need to ask them for their social media. Go to their social media and see what the fuck is going on. And I'm telling you, if you start doing this, you'll start noticing a pattern. A pattern. These people who don't like what we're doing over here seem to always never have any true identification. And it's happened for so long at this point, it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. So if you will start looking into that, you will see the same thing. So take that how that is. But as I said, this is not no play fucking entertainment place. We've crossed that line already. We are actually doing shit over here. If you are a person who just wants to be entertained, go over there. That's not what we're doing over here. Over here, we're trying to get shit done. I've had people send me stuff about different things and that I don't feel like I can change. If I don't feel like I can do anything about it, I don't really fuck with that. With this Men Too shit, I feel like we have an opportunity to do something, so I'm doing it. People who just like to talk about a problem but don't want to fix it, I don't really fuck with that. It's the same thing with this situation right here. With these murderers right here, I'm saying that if we took our position in the crime fast. We do not commit crimes in the way that they commit crimes. If we just say, my nigga, this crime shit I'm doing is not part of my culture. I don't have to do this in order to succeed. All they would have is this. And they would have to see, we would have to see what's actually going on. If you're somebody who just wants to talk about racism and you want to talk about all this other shit, but you don't actually do anything to change it, you're not my type of person. You're not my type of person. I'm not with that. I'm not with that. You call me about your relationship and shit like that, but you won't leave the relationship. I'm not gonna listen to a motherfucker talk days on end and on end, but you continue to stay in the situation. Either you want the situation to be fixed or you just like to talk. If you just like to talk, I'm not with that. I got enough people I can do that with. I'm too busy. I'm too busy for that. So
real quick, man.
Yeah, go. Yeah, my fault, man. I went on the goddamn tangent. But that's
let you talk out.
Yeah.
Let me thoroughly elaborate on that bully thing.
Go ahead.
Now, like how you said earlier, when we was growing up, just being bullied or that whole situation was just a part of growing up. Either you was on one side or the other.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a little kid, bro, I looked like fucking Steve Urkel, bro. I was a little Urkel looking nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I used to get picked on. They used to call, you hit me with the did I for that type shit. You know what I mean? But once it got to the point where I started slapping shit, it's on extra shit. Nah. You know what I mean? It's about building character at the end of the day, man. Like, you have to deal with, like as a kid, dealing with bullies is like dealing with society. You have to be able to stand up to people. Stand up to an individual. How are you going to be able to progress in your work life, in your fucking, just like in general, how are you going to be able to fucking survive? You can't even stand up to somebody.
That's exactly what what's the name said. You're exactly right. It's gonna continue to happen.
Yeah. So my thing is that's a part of life. You have to go through that, and the sooner you go through it, the better.
That's correct. And that's how we had to come up. That's how we had to come up.
Man, so I'm saying, and it's just like another thing too is like with the school thing is like they're making the kids fall for something, bro. It's like it's gonna be weird in the next years, bro.
That's exactly what Gavin said, dog. That's exactly what he said. Like it's and they don't know how dangerous being soft like that is until they get a job and realize that there is no safety net. There is no safety net. Like if you can't take some if you don't know how to deal with bullying in an effective way, then you're not going to be able to do shit. For as long as you are here, there is going to be people that do not like you. If people not liking you, here it is, dog. When we was in school, there was not a choice on whether or not you wanted to go to school. And you know what? The fact that that's my mindset, I have to thank my household. I have to thank my mother for that never being a question. Dropping out of school was never an option. It was never an option. It wasn't until I was, out there into the world that I realized how different households were. Graduating high school was not it wasn't a choice. You're going to do this. Like if you got in trouble at school, you don't want to go to OCS, it's no question. You're going to fucking school. Nowadays, and that's why I feel like we lost a lot because, they're saying that you need to listen to your child and all that. Dog, if I was able to just play sick and not go to school, I would do that shit every day. I would do it every day. That was not an option. You had to really be sick.
My ass and struggles.
Real talk. And like I said, you have people who brag about going to school and skipping and shit like that. And I guess that sounds cool, but that wasn't my household. And that's not anything to be proud of. You know, you got kids nowadays that are able to not go to school because the parent might not feel like getting up. And that's something that you have to where it might be hard to do it with just you in the household. And, you know, everything goes back to the same shit. We got work we need to do inside our household. But one thing that we can jump back off of is no matter how bad one of ours was, no matter how bad their childhood was, they never went out like that right there. That was never an option. And that speaks to the difference in our genetics. In our genetics, what is inside of them is not inside of us. We don't have it. They have something.
Let me ask you a question, right?
Go ahead.
This is one that I always wonder, like, all right, how do these white kids get this, like, demonic energy when you're white in America? Like, you have a leg up. Like,
there it is.
Right? Like I said, us black people, we're always, like, we're born to have like a chip on our shoulders because we have so much, like, adversity towards us throughout the fucking every day of our life. So I will understand for us to have anguish and this, that, and the third, but we're still so peaceful and loving. You know what I mean?
That's right.
But these people here, it's like a demonic force that's already in them. You know what I'm saying? They can just go off the radar at any moment.
That's right. And Doc, and as he says that, y'all watch this right here.
That's why we earned the spot to be able to go to Iraq, right? Because the thing is that some guys are going elsewhere, and you're all vying. Look, I mean, you're all vying because you want to go to combat, and some guys are going someplace else, not in Iraq, and you know, I hate to say it, but that's not where any of us really wanted to go.
Oh, nothing I hate to say about that. If you're in the SEAL teams, you want to go to war. That's all there is to it.
That's right.
We all wanted to go to war.
That's what we were fighting for. We were competing. There are 3 task units. We were competing as a task unit to get top spot to the most dangerous place, and that's where we want to go. And that turned out to be Ramadi.
Turn it down.
That's why we earned the spot to be able to go to Iraq, right? Because the thing is that some guys are going elsewhere, and you're all vying. Look, I mean, you're all vying because you want to go to combat, and some guys are going someplace else, not in Iraq, and you know, I hate to say it, but that's not where any of us really wanted to go.
Oh, nothing I hate to say about that. If you're in the SEAL teams, you want to go to war. That's all there is to it.
That's right.
We all wanted to go to war.
That's what we were fighting for. We were competing. There are 3 task units. We were competing as a task unit to get top spot to the most dangerous place, and that's where we want to go. And that turned out to be Ramadi.
Now, what that lets us know is that what that says to me is that I've heard that before because I did a lot of research on serial killers. I've heard that before. So I asked the question of what, in a lot of cases, the Unabomber, was it Charles Manson? A lot of different serial killers, Timothy McVeigh, when that was kind of, but all of them have the same thing, whether it's a serial killer or a master chief in the SEAL teams. Both of them have something inside of them from a little kid that makes them want to kill. It's not Chris Kyle, the dude that they made the Bradley Cooper was the actor in American Sniper, I think it was.
Yeah, was that a good movie?
Yeah, I definitely a good movie, but people have different ideas of what actually happened. Some say that, you know, he has the most confirmed kills, and some people say he was a serial killer. It's a very thin line between the two because both of them have something inside of them. As you just heard him say, nothing to be embarrassed about. If you're in the SEAL teams, you want to go to war. What that's saying is, I want to kill somebody. I've already told you about when I was in the barracks and you would ask everybody why they joined. You would always have the white guy saying, I just wanted to kill somebody. So that's why I put together all these different things. And this is why when I was watching those serial killer interviews, I stayed on that shit for a week straight. From the time I got up to the time I went to sleep, I was on that because I'm trying to fail. I'm trying to fail my theory of, dog, these motherfuckers talk the same fucking way. And so I went over there and did my research on military people. And what I wanted to look at was their childhoods. I wanted to know about their childhoods, because as a child, you're neither a serial killer or a war vet. As a child, you're just someone that has a fantasy, someone that has a urge or a desire. I'm saying, what is it that makes that desire good or bad? I gotta mute you right fast. There's a lot of noise. Hold on. What makes that desire good or bad? Because if you looked at the two minds of the Yellowstone killer and a Navy SEAL, you would probably see some of the same things. A strong desire to inflict pain. The question is, why is that? Why is that? The second thing that you want to look into is, who does society paint as the most dangerous? You see a guy with tattoos and a bandana, automatically you think the worst. There's no way that he is less dangerous than these people. There's no way that a little gangbanger is less dangerous than these people. And you will be exactly wrong. Which is why the statements that people make about a positive person's appearance is extremely suspicious. Extremely. If you truly wanted to protect your family, especially your children, the person that you will be looking at is people that look like this. The biggest threat to your child is not a nigga with tattoos and a bandana. The biggest threat to your child is the most innocent kid in the neighborhood. The question is, when it was too much violence or it was too much crime in Chicago, New York, or wherever, they had a fucking response for it. The response was stop and frisk, the crack laws, 3 strikes. They made task force and all kind of shit. They attacked the problem head on. But when we've seen so many of these situations, you never hear about a mistaken fucking identity. A mistaken identity. You fit the goddamn description of a fucking suspect. You've never heard it. You've never heard about one of them being mistakenly shot or even harmed. But the crack dealer, the motherfucker with the bandana, he put so much motherfucking fear in the damn The motherfucker's so scared of this motherfucker with tattoos and a bandana, even though the stats show that motherfucker, if you haven't done shit to him, he don't have shit for you. Look at the Simsky case that just happened in Texas, and this one. That nigga was 18 years old, golds and tattoos and all kind of shit. He couldn't even kill the nigga that he was aiming at. But these motherfuckers, they don't even have a target. They just need to kill somebody, and they're effective. A nigga's not even effective in killing the motherfucker that he means to goddamn kill. These motherfuckers will go in that bitch and lay everything down. Yet there is no mistaken identities. There's no I thought he was somebody else. In the movie Set It Off. I never forget this because my mother used this. She used this to tell me why she had to continue to cut my hair. There was a scene in Set It Off. The scene was with a dude that was hanging with one of the girl's brother, or her son, or I think it was her brother. He was hanging with a real gangster, and he said, "Yeah, man, you can get your hair cut like mine." And because he had that haircut, when he came out the house, the people had the shit surrounded. And he's a good kid, but now he looks like the other one, and they identified him by his haircut. He reached into his coat. They told him to get on the ground. He reached into his coat to get the bottle out, which made no sense. But it's like, lay on the ground. I don't want to lay on the bottle, so I'm gonna reach. And they killed him. They killed him, and then it was a scene where she talked to the detective, and it's like, it's an accident, whatever the fuck. But mother was saying that, see, that's how they identify you and shit like that. So she cut my hair for like 3 more years, and it was horrible. But that's extremely important. We can be identified by our haircuts and all these fucking different things. You have the same haircut as a motherfucker we looking for, and nigga, we on edge. We on edge like a motherfucker. But it's always with these motherfuckers, not one of them was brought into custody not breathing. Not one of them. And that's because even with a weapon pointed at the police, when they see this face, compassion, sympathy, empathy, you're going to try a little bit harder to get through to him because you know that he's more civilized and more humane than a nigga with a bandana and tattoos. As I said, this is extremely important because I've seen this comment before, and I'll make this comment once again. It doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with gangbanging. There is nothing wrong with gangbanging. The problem in our community is not that the our warrior class, the young 13 to 45, the problem isn't that males 13 to 45, not the problem that they're gang banging. The problem is the targets. Because if you look at their warrior class, they on the same shit. They on the same shit. But they never get looked at as thugs. The people that look like them do not get stereotyped. The people that look like them do not get profiled. You do not see a kid that looks like them and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch him because he looks like those other kids that did that horrible shit. How is that possible? How is that possible? How is it possible that you can look like a nigga who may have done a drive-by and all of a sudden that's an excuse for you to get goddamn stop and frisk and get out of the car, all this shit. That's a reason for that. That's a good reason for that. But when you see kids that look like this, you don't motherfucking stop and frisk and ask them what they got in their book bag. How is that possible? I wouldn't give a fuck what bandana a little nigga got on. As long as he know that we on the same side and we know that we're not the enemy, nigga, what the fuck is the issue? As I said before, Fred Hampton was out there with the fucking peace stones. It's the niggas in the bandanas that are there to do exactly what that motherfucker just told you. They was ready to go to war. That's exactly what that fucking white man just told you. They was challenging and competing with each other to get a chance to go to war. Is that not exactly what our youth wants to do? It's not the problem of being active and gang banging as long as we truly know who the rival gang is. There is nobody who can change the definition, the meaning of bandanas, but the people who wear them. Shout out to that nigga D-Rose. D-Rose with the Supremely Black podcast. He works with niggas with bandanas, and they have outreach programs that actually go out there and speak to the kids. There is nobody that can speak to a young street nigga, a young hood nigga's heart than a older street nigga, one who went through that and had those same emotions. You know, in the military, a lot of those guys, they feel like they can only talk to other guys that have been to combat. The young soldiers that come in, they admire these warriors. They admire the people who went to Fallujah, who went to Ramadi and all these places. They admire them. If one of those vets, Jocko, Sean Ryan, if one of those people tell a young private not to do something, he's not going to do it because he wants to be cool in that person's eyes. There is nothing wrong with having a street fraternity if that's where we congregate. What needs to change, hold on. what needs to change is the way that we send our youth out there. If we can get through to our youth, and all they need to understand is that your enemy will never be another, you'll never see a nigga who looks like you the way that you're gonna see that judge and that fucking prosecutor. When you go in that courtroom, when you see how that fucking detective, senior detective, tells those people on the stand that he physically saw you discharge the weapon at the victim, when he was on vacation, he wasn't even in the state. When you see how that judge, the prosecutor, the police officer, and your fucking attorney work together to sink you, that's when you will understand what real enemies look like. And when you get up that road and niggas let you know that it's a no hands policy, if you have an issue with another black man, if it ain't serious enough for both of y'all to pick up a knife, you kill that shit. So all of that banging that you was doing on the other color, that shit is dead up here, because the only color that matter is the color of your skin. And this is why our elders who went up top and truly have seen, they went through the system and now they've seen, from the time they got arrested by the enemy to the time when the courtroom was full of enemies, the jury was full of enemies, judge, prosecutor, police officer, your attorney, just nothing but enemies in there. Then you go up the road and you see that now the nigga that you thought was your enemy, your direct rival, this is the nigga that's standing on side of you facing the fucking real enemy, as they have just tried to assault another black person and the whole fucking compound. Every nigga on the compound is standing up about that, because if we allow that to happen, then what the fuck? All we have is our solidarity. That's all we have. It's at that time that you realize this is what the fuck is wrong with the streets. But when you are allowed to learn that, the enemy that runs the media and the computers and social media, he tries to make sure that you cannot truly reach the youth and let them know the color of the bandana is not what matters. Your skin, that's what matters. That's all that they're going to see. That judge, jury, prosecutor, they're not going to see your bandana. They're going to see your skin. And that's going to be your sin on that day. And you will start to understand why you will see the elders within the street fraternities be cool with each other and not have an issue with each other, because they've both been through it and went through it the same way. You thought that the nigga wearing the other color was actually your enemy until you saw the real enemy. And you try to get it to the kids, but the system will make it to where there's a generational gap to where our elders cannot give game to our youth. The system breaks us and then tells the kids that the only thing that matters is money. So without you having a dime, the children won't even listen to you, even though you're a decorated war vet. See, with them, it doesn't matter if you crippled, crazy, and don't got a dime. If you've been to war, all the upcoming Marines are going to support you and they're going to listen to you because you've actually been in combat. But with us, if you come home from prison and you don't have nothing, they'll say, man, I ain't finna listen to no broke nigga. You ain't finna listen to no broke nigga. So you think the fact that I don't have no money means that I can't tell you about what this bandana really represents. And that's how we continue to be destroyed. And this is why when people make those weird comments, I know that they're the enemy. Whether it's a nerd in a basement or it's actually the feds. Because every real nigga knows some of the best people, some of the best teachers, some of the most positive representatives, the most powerful representatives we have for positivity in the real darkness is the niggas who actually you come in this bitch as a real estate agent. The street niggas gonna already have a problem with that because my nigga ain't no way. Ain't no way you gonna tell me how to get out this shit. You ain't never went through this shit. I expect for our people to be more open-minded about what we see that's going on. So that's what that is. Big Facts Podcast. Who this is on the line?
Reverend. What is
Oh man.
That's right. That's
real talk, man. Real talk. No, man. But you know, man, that shit really burnt me the fuck up, man, when I seen that comment the other night, man. I'm like, you know, because like I said, I just couldn't see nobody that actually been in the street to, you know, act like, you know, they don't understand who is who and what type of influence niggas who actually been through something have in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got real niggas that wear bandanas that I'm talking about, they won't allow a young nigga to do anything negative, nothing negative. And so when you start seeing that type of shit, it's like, my nigga, like I said, there ain't nothing wrong with gang banging. As long as we can teach our youth who the enemy is, that's the only issue we got, man. We already got the tactics. We already got the heart. We seeing how y'all niggas is walking down niggas in broad daylight. Y'all are organizing a hit that's so specific. Y'all niggas moving in an actual convoy. Niggas know how to hunt. They know how to lay down. They know how to make a hasty retreat and all kind of shit. The only issue we got is it's the wrong people that are being targeted. When we see people like George Zimmerman and so on and so forth, it just confused the fuck out of me. But it's obvious that we have the tactics and we have the heart to do what need to be done. If we on that level, I just see niggas hitting niggas as some cowardice shit, because ain't no way that's your biggest fucking enemy. Ain't no way that's your biggest threat. So that's all that is. But D-Rose, I wanted to ask you about something, man. I was able, as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna go watch the rest of the video. But in your video, you were speaking about what you saw from your angle. Tell me what, and if y'all want to see that video, go to Supremely Black Podcast and see what's going on. When you first heard the news of this situation, what's the first thing you keyed in on?
The fact that the biggest difference to me is like they had automatically put out like the kid photo. So they put the little picture out. I think most people have seen it, but if you're not, you haven't. It's the picture him praying and he looking young, got the little glasses on, look like just a little innocent kid that would never do any damn thing, which is completely different from when Tempton Simpkins did what he did and left the school. They put out the first picture they could find. Let them tell it was the dreads and the gold and considered armed and dangerous. You know what I'm saying? That automatically puts in your head that this young nigga is armed and dangerous for one.
Yes.
He has a thug image, but then this kid here that is actually killed now has been updated 4 people and injured 8 and wanted to kill more, but everything happened. And it's almost like they don't have to say it out loud, but you can get that they want you to have empathy for this little kid that's right here, like you're showing right here in the middle.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
They didn't find the one where he got the gun already and throwing up gang signs and none of that.
Nope.
The picture they find is,
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy to me. And that was the biggest thing. Oh, well, you know, it ain't, don't make it about race. I mean, that's obvious. If they couldn't find a picture, then I don't get what you're talking about. So
real talk. It don't make it about race.
Put that image out. Like, they just searching for pictures, but you find him praying, looking innocent, and he didn't kill 4 people.
What? What?
Right. Well, yeah. That's the game, though, man.
And so tell me, Ro, tell me this. And like I said, I had the utmost respect for niggas who actually do. So when you are doing your outreach program, what are you seeing out there? You on the ground doing the work. What are you seeing out there? What is it that we need to get through to our youth that we got everything that we need? These people they can't help themselves. See, with these people we see on the screen, their desire is still to kill and hurt more than it is to be superior to all other races. So because these kids, if you put them in an all-white school, they still are finna go in there and hurt people because it's inside of them. So what are you feeling like we're missing with our youth? Where are we going wrong at with our youth?
From what I've seen and what I've been told, like in the classroom, especially the kids that's already active and seeing some shit in life, might be damn near, selling dope, already told the pistol, might be gangbanging. It just depends on the situation. But from when you talk to them, they really just feel like people are talking at them. So it's like the older generation probably will be us, it's just judging them as if we didn't do the same shit. So to them, you don't connect with them is because y'all talking like on this level that as a 30-year-old mindset, you talking to 12, 13, 14-year-olds that are just trying to find themselves. They're trying to find an identity, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. So it's not you're being relatable, you judging them. But you got to think like, kids that grow up without a father, anybody that's actually giving them destructive criticism, if you don't meet them where they're at to find out of why they're acting a certain way, they automatically going to dismiss everything you're talking about. And it was like, they just want you to be cool with them. And like, understand where I'm coming from and why I'm doing it, but then hold me accountable because I need to tell you my story before you just tell me what I should be doing because you don't know me, bro. It's kids. I ain't the biggest nigga in the world, but I didn't talk to kids like a little kid in AVYBE in Orlando when I was doing some work. 6'1", he whooping the teacher at school already. He coming to the program with us. I ain't number 5'9", 5'10". He cool, respectful, very malleable, but he serving teachers at school. They say anything wrong with him, but he come up in a household where he's the oldest, he's the biggest. You know what I'm saying? Uncle's locked up, daddy's nowhere around. Like, y'all cool, bro. Y'all get it. You know what I'm saying? I can talk to you, but everybody else just want to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing and yelling at me. And all he know is to go combat it. You disrespect him because that's what he's seen. We whooped the teacher. They got him in alternative school, but he come to our program ain't doing nothing. Quiet as kept. Talk to him. He's just cool, but he gonna respect who respect him. Now, as a kid, of course, it's an authority figure, but it's all about the approach. You got people that's just there for the paycheck. It ain't no real connection with the youth. There it is. Paid, and them kids feel it because they already not getting any attention anyway. So if you're doing something to act out and you still not asking me why I'm doing it as a kid, it's gonna keep escalating. And before that point, you know what I'm saying, you 14, 15, you've been moving like that, you're a grown ass man. Meeting you at that level, like that's just what it is.
And like I said, it's it's hard to look at it and see where we at and not you know, be able to move as fast as I would like, because I would like for us to be able to really expose where the real evil is, but they'll throw this smoke screen up and you know, right after this situation, they'll have a big drug bust. And I just want them to have to come up short to where they can't continue to revert back to showing us in our lowest form. Because and it really don't matter, because even us at our lowest form, we still cannot match them when it comes to evil. But you said something so big when you said they're searching for their identity. Dog, that is exactly, word for word, that is exactly what a young Marine, a young Navy, Air Force, Army kids jump into these programs because they want an identity. They have something in there called stolen valor. And stolen valor is when you wear a uniform of a military organization that you've not served in. So you'll have somebody that goes online and gets the whole uniform of a Navy SEAL, and they'll walk around in it because that will give them an identity around town, or wherever they go. So they'll start wearing that shit, and you know, people will start talking to them and saying thank you for your service. And it's a way to make it easier to talk to people, because people now see them as something else. They see them as a somebody, as an authority force or something like that. They see them different. They have admiration for them now. And so that's exactly what young military people are doing. They're going into the service to find their identity. And that's exactly what we have on our side also. Want to belong to something. My nigga, that's exactly why these motherfuckers join the military. Exactly, word for word. Every reason that a young nigga has for joining a gang, that is the exact reason why the other people will join the military. Except they have one more thing with them. They want, and you know, as we're young, we have testosterone, so we might be a little bit more, you know, aggressive and like to fight a little bit. But these motherfuckers, they come with a kill switch. Like they want to take it to the next level. And you know, we've seen it before when you look at, you know, some of the most questionable shit, sexual questionable shit, it comes from them. They're trying to choke themselves out as they're, you know, rough sex and all these things, going too far, trying to get whipped. This is all of their shit. They have something inside of them that is turned the wrong way. And they come like this. No assembly required. They come like this in the box. They come ready to go. And they're ready to knock some shit down. And I'm saying that I feel like if we could just get this system off of our back, meaning if we would just leave these people high and dry. If y'all haven't seen, D Rose made a video about Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was before integration, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So before they integrated with us, they saw that we were building our own shit, which is why I'm not sure, and Rose, you can correct me, but I'm sure that right after they bombed the Black Wall Street, that's when integration came. Because they realized that if we don't goddamn put them folks into our shit to where nobody can tell who did what, these folk they gonna show how superior they really are. I think that's it. I think that speaks volumes to what we can do without them. But as long as we're on this system of we'll give you everything free, just kick the man out, just destroy your household, and everything is all good. And what we can see now is that was a trap. This is the reason why we don't have more fathers like Gavin, who is in the home with his children every day, in the house with all of his kids, and is able to deal with all of their personalities, you know, see when something is wrong and take care of it instantaneously. Versus what we normally have, which D Rose was talking about, you have a big kid, you know, who just does not know, was not given enough attention. So now he's all off the rope, and we have to do, what is it? Belated parenting. So as you were supposed to get your ass whooped when you were 3 years old, when you first started, you know, showing these aggressive tendencies, and your father was supposed to take you out back, whoop your ass real good, then pick you up and tell you why that was. But now that you haven't had that, and at 14 is the first time you've had a real father figure come. Now you got to deal with all of those issues for all of those years that should have been dealt with as soon as they happened. As soon as those behaviors started, they should have been killed. And that's what you can do when you are a real father like Gavin, who, as soon as the child does something, soon as he start listening to questionable music, you know, you take that shit out of his headphones and tell him to go over there and watch Shaka Zulu documentary. You on top of all that. But when you let those behaviors grow and grow, old habits die hard. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about, you know, catching the problem before it gets out of control?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the most important part with that is just, what I've noticed, like the kids be like, you know, I won't even, especially if it's like multiple kids in the household, man, that attention part is huge. I know we talking about it as, you know, as adults, like it's kind of hard. Like the kids will say that a parent won't notice it because the kid that may be acting out at the house is getting all the damn attention now. So it's like, you can have kids wanting to be invested in, but the distraction is either the parent isn't just really talking to them like that. All they got is the phone and social media and the teacher in school, so they really got a false view of really what life is because everything they see is from a social aspect and it's nothing intimate. So if you really don't get to know your kid or, you know, your nephew or whoever you are, you know, that look to you for like advice, you got to just slow it down sometimes and just talk to them about them and not what's going on around them because they're overly consumed with that anyway. And that's what turns into the issue is that they fall victim like a lot of us have to society. I mean, if you don't really know me, you just put me in the bucket with everybody else from what you've seen. Everybody's their own unique individual, you feel me? So that's where it gets deep, babe, because them damn kids get to talking to you like they've been knowing you forever. And I'm like, it's crazy because, you know, I could talk to a mother after a program and they'd be like, I didn't even know that about my son. They're thinking like, you know, you can't judge them, but it's like, damn, I ain't even got kids. You know, so I got nephews and shit and god kids, but it's like, how you don't know that about your, you know, your kid? Like, you know, but the damn phone, man. Hell, you know, 2 or 3, they get sit in the room and play on the phone and shut up. It's a disconnect, bro. It's way different than it was back in the day, man. You feel me? Way different.
Dog, that's crazy. That is so crazy. And like I said, we're gonna go because I want to talk to you about bullying. And like I said, this, if you've not went to Supremely Black podcast, you need to get over there. I feel like shout out to Eric the Longshoreman. Also, I feel like we need to have contact. If we're about progress, we need to have contact with the people that have hands-on with the situation. I feel like a kid can go through the program that they have, and then Eric, the longshoreman, can then come to, you know, talk about his career. We have different people come and tell them about different careers, and I feel like we'll be more successful. But I think that's extremely important. Mothers, if you do not have a father in the home, D Rose, like I said, I'm gonna go to your expertise with this, but Is that kind of what y'all do? Like, can a mother come to y'all and be like, man, I don't want to keep having different niggas coming in at the house. Can I bring my son here to just be around some men?
Yeah, that's exactly what our focus is. Honestly, like with my nonprofit, PLAG is the actual thing, PLAG, Power, Liberate, Accelerate, Growth. What our focus is that we got, just to kind of give it out now, we have in the Dallas area where people like where Timothy Simpkins at the school shooting at, we got the Mansfield location now. So we'll be hands-on to be able to go in and talk to those kids, and I'm working on getting the same thing down in Houston. But that's what we'll start at, is like the school, because we understand people personal, you got other stuff going on in your house. That makes sense. But the goal is to, get into the schools with them, and then as we build a relationship with them and the parents, then be able to get them into some inclusive things. Like, we may bring you out to help feed with the homeless. We may let you come in and do everything we're doing to prep to do a giveaway or a drive for homeless people or another kid event, like just to get you intertwined with other people and connecting with people in different states, just to make sure that we all on the same page, so they can see that everybody just ain't out just to judge you, but it's just to show you a different perspective. So that's the thing, just to get to that point, because it's fucked up, because there's so many people out here that misuse their ability to connect with people by doing dumb shit when they do get around kids. And want to be hesitant, but we
real talk
within the community, man, and getting out there.
Real talk, and that's what that is. Like I said, we're gonna hear more from Rose. If you have not been to Supremely Black podcast, go and watch that Tulsa, the Black Wall Street video. I believe that if we can connect these attacks that they've had on us, and we go by the timeline, the reason why Fred Hampton and the Black Peace Stones and the Black Panthers, them coming together to speak to the true enemy, the reason why that was important is because that was in Chicago. And the question is, what do you not see the pattern? We started building Black Wall Street on our own, they bomb it, and then they bring in integration. We got Fred Hampton, Black Panthers, and a Black Peace Stone, a street gang for Black positivity. They come kill Fred Hampton and put dope on the street. Every time that we rise, we're being knocked down. This is why when we have people coming in making discouraging comments, you need to go and see who these people are. I'm telling you that they will not have a face, because it's the same thing over and over and over. So we have to be smart about that. So tomorrow we'll be going live deeper on this as we get more news. But I want to focus more on the bullying and what the fuck does bullying mean. So we'll see it like that. Rose, I appreciate you, man. I'm going to touch you in a minute.
All right, bro.
All good. I appreciate everybody. Man, shout out to that nigga. House of Woodbane came back to, let me see what he said. Multiple threats, multiple schools closed. Shout out to US Networks. Shout out US Networks. Let me see what they said. This must be yeah. That throw me off right there. Shout out to D Wheel. Shout out to US Network. They came through, said Men Too, Rap Trap. Most definitely. Tomorrow we're gonna rock out.
if you're a parent, I do want to hear what y'all have to say about it, and we'll go. Directly from there.
They be sad the motherfucker at the funeral.
I always said, in my mind, I always think, well, shout out to Big Facts Podcast too. Ayo Consaco them. He came up with something I be thinking about where he says, you should cry when your loved one jump off the porch, not when they get killed. Because that's what come with the streets. You see what I'm saying? You know if a nigga jump in the streets, death or jail is all that come. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing that we all know that. Everybody know that. It's just local, universal, death or jail. You should cry when they jump off the porch.
Yeah.
You cry when they already get summoned by the streets and shit.